Okay, welcome. We are going to make some delicious and juicy wings in the air fryer. And I mean juicy. Okay, I have made my share of dried out wings and I still ate them. They were still good. But if you follow this recipe, your wings are going to turn out juicy every single time. I'm Serfronya. This is a great cooker. And let's get started with those wings. I found when brining chicken to use about a tablespoon of salt per 2 cups of water. And we're gonna use about 4 cups of water probably. So this is 2 tablespoons of salt. In here we have about 4 cups of water. I'm using water that's hot enough, hopefully, to dissolve the salt. Let's see how dissolved we can get this. If there's a bit of salt in the bottom, I mean, I'm sure that will be okay, but I want to try to get it fully dissolved to maximize the brining. And next I'll go ahead and add the chicken. This is just going to be for a couple of us. Looks like I don't quite have enough water to cover the chicken, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this up a bit more. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. Now I'm going to cover this. I'm going to set this in my fridge to brine. Up to 8 hours is a good amount of time. Actually, the chicken needs to thaw, so you can add an hour or two onto the brining time to allow for the chicken to thaw. So up to 10 hours with frozen wings is good. But I'm just going to let mine go as long as I can today. When we last left these wings, they were brining and they were frozen. I'm trying to do some quick maths here. It's been about 6.5 hours total. I left them on the counter for about an hour and a half and let them brine or let them thaw. And then once they were mostly thawed, I set them in the fridge for the rest of the time. But of course, be really careful about setting raw meat on the counter. I just did it because it was frozen and I was trying to get it to thaw a little quicker. So on to the next steps. I'm layering some paper towel. I'm attempting to layer some paper towel on a plate here. And I'm gonna have to do these wings in 2 batches because they won't all fit in my air fryer. But basically, when you drain your wings, you may also want to rinse them as well if you're concerned that they're going to be too salty on the outside. Then you can drain off the extra. You can drain off the extra salt, but that is your call. Now I'm just putting some more paper towel on top. And I'm just gonna dry. The reason why I want to dry the wings as much as possible is because you want them to be crispy. And if they're wet, they're less likely to get crispy. Actually, I think I'm gonna cook my batch last. I usually have 8 wings, but I'm gonna dry 2 more because I am gonna give this first batch to a hungry person who is waiting at this very moment for this dish to come together. Okay, I don't do much to these wings. We did the hard work when we brined them. We did the important work then. So this is just a bit of olive oil. And I'm going to coat each of the wings in the olive oil. And this is for crispiness and for flavor because I think the wings in the olive oil, I think they taste pretty good. You know what also I could have used that I just thought about? This, I think coconut oil, refined coconut oil, is also a good choice for this. All right, so those are all mixed. I mean, I got oil all over these. Trying to lay them all flat so that I can add the seasoning. Okay, so I am going to salt extremely lightly because these already have a good amount of salt. It's up to you how much salt you want to add. Pepper. Not going to use a lot of pepper, and you're about to find out why. A bit of onion powder. I was trying to go lighter than that. And hopefully a bit of garlic powder. That's better. Now, this is my secret ingredient for my wings. You can use any seasoning you want on your wings, but I found this hot Mexican style chili powder. Look, all I can tell you is that I've been using this on my wings exclusively, and I usually mix it up a bit, but not since I found this. So sprinkle this on pretty liberally. And I didn't find this, if I'm being honest. I think I ordered chipotle. I ordered chipotle seasoning, like the ground chipotle seasoning, and this was given to me as a substitution. And let me just tell you that I am very, very, very glad that that substitution happened. Very glad. Oh, I'm supposed to be flipping these to the other side. Look at me, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm supposed to be flipping these to the other side and adding all the other ingredients again. Hardly any salt at all. Try to go lighter. Whoop, goodness, it comes out so ferociously. That was the onion powder again. And the garlic powder again. Oh, also, you want to preheat your air fryer. I'm going to do that now, so you'll hear that turn on. I'm doing 400 degrees for, Okay, I'm doing 400 degrees for these wings aren't going to take very long, so I'm going to set it to 20 minutes to start. Do you hear that? Just cut on. Now, while that's preheating, I'll go back to what I was doing. Basically, I'm turning, as I'm seasoning this chicken with the hot Mexican style chili powder, I'm actually turning it and making sure that I'm getting this on all of the chicken. I don't want to miss any. That's how serious I am about this seasoning. Normally I would just sprinkle it on one side, sprinkle it on the other, and call it a day. But yeah, I want to make sure I'm getting the sides too. And every bit of it. I'm not kidding. You can even kind of rub it in a bit as you do that if you want to. But I think I've got it everywhere now, except for this last one. Yes, indeed. And I'm going to make sure that my air fryer preheats for 5 minutes, and then we will add these. Right now I have a 17-minute timer on the air fryer, and what I want to do is, I have a couple of pieces. I don't know if you can tell, but this one is much, much, much thicker. These pieces are way thicker than the other ones, and I want to make sure that these cook all the way. So these thicker pieces, trying to leave some space. I'm gonna go ahead and add to the air fryer now. And I'm gonna give them a couple of extra minutes, 2 extra minutes to cook before we add the rest. Okay, now we're down to about 15 minutes. And so I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the wings. Just that couple minutes does make a difference. Before I started doing this, some of my wings were drying out. These are the flats were drying out before the drumettes were cooking all the way. But now I don't have that problem. You want to try not to crowd these. I could have done a little better job of that. You want them to have a bit of space between them if possible. And now these go back in, and we're going to turn these halfway through. Okay. The air fryer started beeping. So let's go ahead and turn these. Wow. They look good already. Whew, I need longer tongs. But these are the only ones I have that have the silicone tips. I'm trying my best to not abuse my air fryer. And maybe the coating will last longer than it usually does for me. But yeah, as you can see, these are already looking, oh my gosh. These look good already. Did I actually flip? I think I need to do this. Yes. And last but not least, and these go back in for the last, 7.5 minutes or so. All right, let's see. I think our time is just about up. Yep. So the bigger pieces cooked for 17 minutes and the smaller pieces for 15 minutes. So here's one of the bigger pieces, and it is reading at 175. It's definitely done. And if the bigger piece is done, I know the smaller piece is. We've got 181, 187. So could have even cooked them a few minutes less. These, doesn't that look good? If you wanted these to get crispier, you could leave them in a few more minutes. But the key to really juicy wings is 1, to brine them, and 2, not to let them overcook. 165 degrees is ideal, but at 175, 180, even 185, as long as you pull them out pretty quickly, once they reach that temperature, they're gonna be great. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at what the inside of these look like. Y'all caught me again. This is not my plate, but someone in this house gets wings that they did not have to cook. So I feel like they'll be okay if I poach one off their plate and try it. Because we have to know if it's good or not, right? Okay, I probably should have waited and let this cool down a bit. But look at that. I'm going to use a fork, I think, to open this up so I don't burn myself. Take a look at this. Look at that. See how juicy that is? Oh my gosh, there's literal juice dripping off of here that I don't want to wind up on myself. But can you see that, how juicy that is? And we checked the temperature on these. They're cooked all the way through. Let's see if I can taste it without burning myself. Mmm. The brining definitely worked. This tastes flavorful. The meat, it tastes flavorful all the way through. You know, when you don't brine your chicken, which I don't always brine mine, but to me, it always has a bland taste. And I can immediately tell if chicken's been brined or not. So if you have the extra time, you definitely want to go this route. Let me try the skin. Wow, that is so good. This was so juicy. I really could have left it in maybe whew, a couple minutes longer. I probably could have left it in a couple minutes longer for the skin to get a little crispier, but it is flavorful. Okay, just one more bite maybe. Yes, that's good. That Mexican chili powder, fantastic. Let me know what ingredients you use because I actually have days and days worth of different ways to season my wings. I'll make a video about that if you're interested. Speaking of videos, another video is gonna pop up here somewhere. Also, you'll have the ability to click and subscribe. So please do that if you enjoyed this video. I make lots of air fryer videos. They're all keto friendly nowadays, and they're all easy. Sometimes they seem like there's a lot of ingredients, but I promise you everything always comes together very quickly. I love having you in my kitchen and for us to be able to cook together. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.